will be building up his conditioning, while at the same time obviously running through some rudimental, typical fundamentals in terms of the boxing techniques. Just take a bigger step because he's not ready. Warm, they're not ready. Big step, boom.
Build into it.
We've kind of worked on every different element that we can do in them 5 years. I know him pretty well, so I know what he has to do in order to prepare him correctly for his fights.
I don't like the comparison, but it's not me that's making it, is it? So
yeah.
I just have to smile.
He says he wants to stop you.
Taking time to warm up as well, so I'm not warming up as round goes on. I'm actually going into the spars warm, so everything's a learning curve. Like it's either you win or you learn. You can't lose, so I'm learning from my mistakes.
And as the biggest test of his career gets closer, Moses Itauma is leaving nothing to chance. Moses Itauma is locked in and putting in serious work as he prepares for Filip Hrgovic. The young heavyweight is sharpening his speed, power, and conditioning in training, knowing Hrgovic presents one of the toughest tests of his career. With the fight getting closer, Ittoma is focused on making sure he is fully prepared for everything Hrgovic brings on fight night.
I'm trying to like get perfect, and it's like, ah, cool. Like I found the routine now. I'm in camp now. It's like every camp I do, there's a what went well and even better if.
Yeah.
And like I think definitely for this camp, the even better if was if I'd done less media. So I've done a lot of media. A lot of media, and it takes a toll.
Should we just go in?
That preparation is exactly what Ben Davison believes separates Ittoma from what fans see on fight night. Ben Davison, Moses Itoma's coach, says his strong boxing IQ and willingness to learn are major parts of his development. He emphasizes that Moses works extremely hard in camp, despite how effortless his performances may look on fight night. According to Davison, the speed and dominance fans see in the ring come from years of hard work and intense preparation behind the scenes.
Not to say every single time his reaction is going to be this, but these are things that typically will keep happening no matter how he approaches the fights. Those are the things that we'll knuckle down on. Moses has got a fantastic boxing IQ, and he's very, very coachable. You know, I think people underestimate how hard he works, which is something that I constantly reiterate to him. It's important never to underestimate that, because people will look at you and think that you just turn up, smash people up and walk off. But there's a lot of work that goes into that. He's put a lot of work in his whole life to be able to put in these performances, and he puts in a tremendous amount of work in the training camp leading up to these fights, and that's why he's able to.
But Eddie Hearn believes all that preparation is about to be tested in a completely different way against Hrgovic. Hearn believes Moses Itauma has tremendous potential, but says Filip Hrgovic will provide his first real test against a top-level heavyweight. Hearn feels Hrgovic's aggressive style could suit Moses, but also warns that Ittoma has never been hit by a heavyweight puncher with small gloves. In his view, this fight could finally reveal how Moses responds when the punches come back.
Has the most promise is Moses Itauma.
Yeah.
Right?
Without doubt.
Still, and when I say this, it's not a criticism of Moses, because I can't rate him more than I do. He's never fought any world-class heavyweight in the top 15.
He hasn't been hit back yet. Yeah.
No.
He just doesn't.
And Hrgovic is by the way, I think Hrgovic is also a great style for him, right? But that's a real fight. That's his first proper test.
I know it was Dave Allen, and that's no disrespect to Dave Allen, but I was shocked at how aggressive Hrgovic was against Dave.
That's how he fights.
He's always been
and he'll
like
be
that,
aggressive against Moses,
He's
and
always
he could
been
pay
like
the
that.
price for it. But the reality is, we've never seen Moses hit on the chin
It's the perfect
by a
style.
heavyweight puncher with small gloves on.
Perfect style.
Maybe he's got a great chin.
But the biggest question is whether Ittoma's talent can hold up when Hrgovi starts firing back. Eddie Hearn believes Filip Hrgovi has a strong chin, which makes this an especially interesting test for Moses Itauma. Hearn still expects Moses to win and believes he could look impressive, but stresses that this is the first real step up of Ittoma's career. Despite all the hype around his talent, Hearn feels this fight will finally show how far Moses has truly developed.
Hrgovic.
He's got a good chin.
Yeah,
He's got a
but-
really good chin.
yeah, so therefore, I think it's a really good fight. I'm looking forward. I think Moses wins, and I think he looks great. But it's his first real, like, you know, we're all very high on Moses Itauma because in the game, there's been enough talk over the years, and we're seeing how talented he is. But let's be honest. I mean, Franklin's his best win.
Stop it.
And Tony Bellew believes the real test begins the moment Moses gets hit back. Tony Bellew is extremely high on Moses Itauma and believes he will show just how talented he is against Filip Hrgovi. However, Bellew warns against getting carried away with the hype, pointing to Daniel Dubois' situation before the Joe Joyce fight. He says the real test comes when an undefeated knockout artist gets hit back for the first time, making Hrgovi a crucial moment in Moses' development.
And trust me, he'll show it against Filip Hrgovic. I think he's amazing, but you can't get ahead of yourselves because I keep telling people this. This is the exact same situation Daniel Dubois was in before he fought Joe Joyce. And you've seen what, when someone gets hit back for the first time, boxing is so easy when you're knocking people out. But it's when they start, and if you keep knocking people out, and once you start getting to 16, 17, 18, 19 and 0, and you've knocked everybody out, and then when someone hits you back for the first time, it's worse. You'd rather get hit back in the 6th or the 7th fight. You'd rather have faced some adversity there. And he's so good that he hasn't, and I can't.
And if Hrgovi gets hurt early, the power on both sides could change the fight instantly. The panel believes Moses Itauma's power could become a major factor if Hrgovi gets hurt early. They point to how quickly a heavyweight fight can change when a dangerous puncher finds the target, especially when an opponent has already been dropped. For Ittoma, the key will be whether he can turn his own power into the same kind of fight-changing moments against Hrgovi.
He's turned fights over with one
Mate,
shot.
not then. There was
you
there
can't
was
pull
no
him out
way.
now.
And he's not in the ring with someone who hits harder.
No,
than
no,
him.
I'll tell you
I
something
am
now.
all for it.
At the point, for the 2 rounds or so he was kept
No,
in
no,
there, he had
disagree.
no chance of winning the fight.
I disagree.
Not even a puncher's chance.
He did have a puncher's
He didn't,
chance.
because he had nothing left.
He had him down twice.
No, but that was in the first round.
Stop. He's had him down twice.
But Dev Sani believes Hrgovi brings something Ittoma has not experienced before, proven championship-level adversity. Dev Sani believes Filip Hrgovi will be fully prepared because he has already been through tough fights, cuts, long 12-round battles, and moments where he had to find a way to win. Sani points out that Moses Itauma has never faced a heavyweight in his prime with Hrgovi's size, experience, and determination. For him, this is the first time Moses will face someone who truly believes he can beat him and become world champion.
Really on it. This is a guy who's battle tested. He's had to fight through cuts. He's had to fight 12-round wars. He's had to find a way to win. He's had to find ways when things aren't necessarily going his way, but he digs something out. He's been there. He's been to these places. And also in Moses' entire career, amateur and pro, he would have never boxed anyone like Filip Hrgovic. Maybe the same sort of size and dimensions and styles and stuff like that in the amateurs, maybe, but they were all kids when he was a kid. Now, this is the first proper, in his prime, man coming to stick it on him with a high work rate, who wants it and believes that he can win and become the world heavyweight.
And that is why Liam Goff believes the later rounds could tell us the most about Ittoma. Goff leans toward Moses Itauma in this matchup, pointing to the unbeaten heavyweight's impressive rise and growing reputation. However, Goff says the biggest question is how Moses performs if the fight goes deep. Having never fought beyond 6 rounds, Ittoma still needs to prove his conditioning and composure can hold up when the early opportunities disappear.
Itauma the favourite going into this fight, but again, the build up to this fight and some of the things that Itauma has been saying, people, there's red flags there. The chin thing is really bizarre. You know, I still can't understand how Itauma has that mentality when it comes to the chin. I don't need to know if I have a good chin. It'll never get tested. Mate, it's boxing. You've never been past 6 rounds, right?
and Goff expects that uncertainty to create plenty of drama throughout the fight. Liam Goff expects Moses Itauma versus Filip Hrgovic to be a fight full of twists and drama from the opening bell. He does not see it ending with one simple combination or Hergoi simply walking Moses down, but expects the momentum to change throughout the fight. Goff believes the uncertainty and back and forth action are exactly what make this matchup so exciting.
That don't blink because you don't know what's going to happen. This is going to be a fight where from the first second of that first round to, if it goes that far, the last second of that 12th round, you are not going to know what's going on because this fight is going to chop and change like the weather. It's not going to be a formality. You're not going to see an Itauma combination and boom, it's over. You're not going to see Filip Hrgovic just walk Moses Itauma down early. It's going to go round, it's going to go long, and there's going to be drama in this fight. I think that's why everyone is so keen on this fight. Everyone wants to see it. You see the advertisements up there.
And that lack of experience under sustained pressure is exactly what several analysts believe could decide the fight. Lawrence Oseke believes Moses Itauma's hand speed could give him a major advantage, allowing him to control the action before Filip Hrgovic can settle into his rhythm. However, Oseke points out that Ittoma has yet to experience sustained pressure from a seasoned heavyweight in a demanding fight. If Hrgovic forces Moses beyond his comfort zone, that lack of high-level adversity could become a key test.
And there's no doubt about it, this is a huge step up, and I know Moses gets judged harshly, but that's because he's such a talent. If you're a load of rubbish, pony, no one cares. People just want to see him in competitive fights. The fact is, the previous fights haven't delivered. Dylan White past his best, Franklin out of shape, and I'm not blaming Moses, he's done his job. He's been well managed and looked after, the hype's been built, but I do fear the lack of competitive fights could be his downfall, because the talent's there, but there's areas of his game we haven't seen under the bright lights, and I want to see it.
And while Moses may be difficult to catch early, Ade Oladipo believes Hrgovic's power will eventually force him to answer some serious questions. Oladipo acknowledges that Moses Itauma's movement and elusiveness could make him difficult to catch early. However, he warns that no fighter can avoid danger forever, and Filip Hrgovic has enough power to punish Moses if he begins to slow down. The real question, according to Oladipo, is whether Ittoma can absorb Hrgovic's best punches and remain composed when the fight gets tough.
Reflexes become a bit slower, just happens, and you might get touched. And if he gets touched, how does he react? And look, I think he reacts well. I hope he reacts well. I'm all on the Moses Itauma hype train. I'm fucking the founding member of the Moses Itauma fan club. I just want to make sure that he proves to everyone that he is the real deal. And I think this is really good matchmaking. I think Hrgovic will ask those questions. Hrgovic will. I'm telling you, Hrgovic will ask those questions. He's going to be in the best shape.
That challenge could become even greater because Hrgovic appears to be a more aggressive fighter under Abel Sanchez. Ade Oladipo highlights Filip Hrgovic's transformation under trainer Abel Sanchez, saying the Croatian heavyweight looks sharper, more aggressive, and better prepared for a demanding fight. Oladipo believes Hrgovic's improved work rate could force Moses Itauma to fight at a pace he has never experienced before. If Hrgovic maintains that intensity into the later rounds, he could push the unbeaten prospect into unfamiliar territory.
But I have, you know, when you kind of close your eyes and you play out the scenarios, and I played out this scenario in my head where Itauma's just lighting him up early, and this fucker Hrgovic don't move. I've played that out in my head where Hrgovic is just like taking those shots and he's riding them, and you know, and it's like oohs and ahs from the crowd, and you get into round 6, 7, and 8, and Hrgovic is still there. And you're starting to see Moses blow a little bit. And Hrgovic then like, okay, now it's my turn. I've played that scenario in my head, people. I played it in my head. But I've also played with the scenario where Moses is just too far.
But despite all the questions surrounding the matchup, Ittoma remains focused on proving himself once again. Moses Itauma is keeping his attention on what he can control inside the ring. He says his only responsibility is to fight, regardless of the politics or circumstances surrounding the matchup. After facing doubts when he first turned professional, Ittoma feels he is gradually proving his critics wrong, and now he wants to shock them again by winning a world title when they least expect it.
That's what I'm looking at. Should be nice.
People talking about the Tyson record. If that happens, it's got to be by the end of May. Does it bother you or not?
I don't want to be one of these people that's like, I said something, I'm not going to do it, of course, but there's a lot of things that I can't control. There's a lot of things that my punching can't solve. politics and XYZ involved into this. And so with the Tyson record, with what I was just getting at, I just want to win a world title when people don't think I can do it. When I turn pro, a lot of people are saying, he might be a hype job, he was good amateur, but he's not going to be no good of a pro or whatnot. I think I'm starting to slowly like turn their minds over. People's opinions don't really matter to me, only because it doesn't help me in the fight. But at the same time,
and Hrgovic is making it clear that he plans to test that confidence from the opening bell. Filip Hrgovic believes Moses Itauma is about to face a serious test of his toughness. He says his strength will be a major factor and plans to start faster than usual, refusing to let Moses settle into his boxing rhythm. Hrgovic wants to pressure the young heavyweight early, make the fight physical, and find out how Ittoma responds when the intensity rises.
Look this. Touch this.
It's strong, mate.
Fuck, man, I'm strong like a rock. I can knock out a horse.
Yeah.
So, of course, I believe. And he starts fast. You know, don't start fast. I'm slow starter. But this fight, I will start fast. I must train to start fast, and I wanna get into the fight with him. I don't wanna box too much with him. I wanna get into the fight and see how tough he is.
And despite Hrgovic trying to create pressure outside the ring, Ittoma is refusing to let the talk distract him. Moses Itauma is not letting Filip Hrgovic's words get inside his head. He says the Croatian's verbal approach does not bother him and refuses to get involved in the mind games surrounding the fight. Instead, Moses is staying focused on what happens inside the ring, believing his performance will ultimately speak louder than anything said before the fight.
A bit of talk, you know, do you like that?
Don't care. Do you know what? I don't want to be short or anything, but like it's just this whole not pantomime, but this kind of act that he puts on or people put on just to try to get the little 1%. Just in turn, it makes me feel like they're not confident, you know. So.
And Hrgovic believes that calm confidence from both sides could turn this into one of the biggest heavyweight fights of the year. Filip Hrgovic believes his showdown with Moses Itauma could become one of the most exciting fights of the year. He respects Moses' talent and rapid rise, but sees his own experience as a major advantage in the matchup. Hrgovic views it as a fascinating clash between a highly promising young heavyweight and an experienced contender, with both men capable of producing a memorable fight.
So we must to do this, and everything good, you know, we had a great time. And it would be a great fight. It's an amazing fight, one of the best fights, man. One of the most exciting fights this year. And great, upcoming young kid, you know, experienced guy, myself, and it's a great fight. Yeah.
Frank Warren also knows that Ittoma will have to deal with a level of experience he has never faced before. Warren knows Moses Itauma is facing a serious test against a fighter with plenty of experience. He highlights Filip Hrgovic's power, amateur pedigree, and experience as major threats, but remains confident that Moses can rise to the occasion. Warren sees this matchup as another important step in Ittoma's development and a chance for the young heavyweight to show just how far his potential can take him.
It's a great fight. I mean, again, you've got I think in 3 governing bodies now, Moses is ranked #1, and Filip's in, I think, in the top 5 of nearly all of them. Got a wealth of experience. Moses, as I say, he's still only 21, and he's fighting a guy who's an Olympic medalist, who's never been knocked out, stopped with cuts, tough sod, especially early in fights. You know, he's really, you know, you've seen him. I've seen him with Daniel Dubois in that fight, and they were tough rounds, and you know, Daniel did extremely well to come through it. But this is a big step up for Moses, but we believe in him, and this will be an extra special fight.
So we spoke to Filip about that before.
Even with that challenge ahead, Gareth A. Davies believes Ittoma already has the talent to compete with almost anyone in the division. Davies believes Moses Itauma already has the ability to defeat almost anyone in the heavyweight division. He sees Alexander Usyk as the biggest exception because of his experience, technical ability, and southpaw style. Outside of Usyk, Davies views Itauma as a serious future force who could eventually dominate the heavyweight division.
Record of saying I think Moses Itauma, even though people might not agree with me, beats everyone in the division, maybe apart from Alexander Usyk right now. I think would old man him and beat him on points, based on his skills and experience and the fact he's also a...
But Davies believes Hergoi is exactly the kind of opponent who can show whether that potential is ready to become reality. Hergoi will force the young heavyweight to deal with greater experience and a proven contender, giving Moses the chance to show how far he has developed. Davies expects Itauma to eventually solve the challenge, but believes this fight will reveal whether he is truly ready for the highest level.
I think Hrgovic is a brilliant test for Moses Itauma. He's going to have to work the guy out. I think he gets to him. I think it's going to be a terrific fight. As you say, if that cut is fine, then they get to action on August the 8th. It's a brilliant step up for Moses, and the right one before, as Frank Warren says, he fights for a world title this year, because he's so highly ranked now in all the sanctioning bodies. He's ready to go. They need to take the collar off him now and let the dog really go for it, not just bark, but go and give its bite.
I'm sure you saw a lot of the pictures from...
And if Ittoma performs at his best, the Puncher Chance podcast believes his speed and power could make the difference. The podcast sees Moses Itauma's rapid rise as a sign that he is ready for bigger challenges. They point to his speed, explosiveness, and growing popularity as major reasons why he could cause Filip Hrgovic serious problems. While they admit the fight may not have the same commercial pull as boxing's biggest heavyweight events, they believe Ittoma has enough speed and power to stop Hergoi if he performs at his best.
I think Ittoma stops him, yeah.
I always thought Hrgovic was a world-class operator in the heavyweight division. If he does end up fighting Ittoma next, hopefully he can give Ittoma some rounds and he can take some of those shots. The easy answer for Benya if Ittoma fought Hrgovic is that Ittoma just absolutely flies through him.
With the biggest question surrounding Moses Itauma now set to be answered, the young heavyweight is ready for the toughest test of his career against Filip Hrgovic. Moses has the speed, power, confidence, and growing experience to make a statement, but Hrgovic brings the toughness and experience needed to push him into unfamiliar territory. Now the training is done, and the talk is over. The real test begins when these two heavyweights step into the ring. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more boxing news and updates.